What's going on, folks? It's been a really, really, really crazy, interesting series of days. We had the mass shooting spree, you know, a couple of things that happened here and there on the news. And, I still had time today to think about some things. And I wanted to talk to you people about being obnoxious. Now, some of you may say, well, people are people, and it's okay to be obnoxious, right? If that's who you are. I beg to differ on that one. We see these things happen on YouTube. We see, in our everyday lives, we know people who really pester us, who really get under our skin. And what is one of those characteristics, if you had to list some set of characteristics about this person that really, really just turned your stomach and really made you not want to talk to this person or be around this person? Typically, one of those things would be that they're obnoxious, because them being obnoxious is really just them just speaking from their mouths what they're thinking in their minds. So it's giving you like a full view of what's going on. A lot of these things happen because the person, and I like this word, but here's the thing: this word is pretty much in theme with everything that I ever talk about, because dysfunctional, dynamics are what create a bad individual. And I really want y'all to try to bear with understanding that, because some of you have character traits and they're not necessarily the best. And because you don't have an understanding or know that or realize that, you think it's okay to be the way you are. You don't want to improve yourselves. You don't want to reflect. And the reason why is because you don't see there's no problem with me, right? I'm just being me. Sometimes people being themselves get them killed. Sometimes it leads to fights and, arrests and all types of things that happen because someone has the inability to govern and reason within their own minds about what they want to do to another person. Because it doesn't really matter if you're distorted in your mind, if you have some distorted thinking and you just can't get it together. It doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, that's going to be something that you're going to have to fix within. None of us can help you. None of us can, I can talk all day, and that's still not going to change some things unless you're ready to change. But when those things affect another person on a level where they're severely disenfranchised, where you're harming them, where you're harming, some aspect of their life, or you're causing some kind of trouble in their life for no reason, just because you have dysfunctional thought patterns, it's not fair to that person. They don't deserve your torment. They don't deserve to deal with narcissistic behavior. you know. And the problem with the world at large is that we have a lot of clinical sociopaths. We have a lot of undiagnosed people with mental disorders and undiagnosed sociopaths running around here doing whatever they're going to do. The mass shooting spree was a perfect example of such things. Do you see how dangerous that situation was? Do you see how people lost their lives and how people are greatly affected even to this very moment by those traumas? Do you not see that? And when you don't want to focus on the possibility of that happening, because I always talk about preparation, when you don't want to focus on these things, there's always a consequence somewhere down the line. You can't prevent things from happening. However, you can have a understanding about why they happen, and try to pay attention to other people. It's not okay to be obnoxious. It's not okay to say whatever you want to say because you can't control yourself. We can empathize and we can reason with the fact that you have psychological problems. But why would I care when it's affecting my life. If you want to run the light and you want to plow into my car, right, and put me at danger of serious injury, why do I care if something's wrong with you? The only thing I want to do is get home. You get it? The only thing I want to do is get to wherever I'm going. If I'm on a flight, why do I, what reason would I have for not wanting to make it safely to my destination, right? If I have a family member or loved ones who live far away from me or something, I'm from another place or something, anything, I have to travel. So think about this series, these series of events that have occurred the other day. Those are serious enough for me to realize anything I'm doing, I'm going to be dealing with people, and there's always or possibly always a bad apple in the bunch, which is really scary when you think about it. Because if there's a 50-50 chance of something happening, it's a really bad situation. You know, if you were putting on your coat and your hat and you were on your way out the door and I stopped you and I told you, hey, right now I can prove to you there's a 50-50 chance that someone's going to run up and hit you with a baseball bat when you leave this house. Are you willing to take that risk? Are you going to say, oh, well, it's a chance it may not happen? Or are you going to really think about that? 50-50 sounds neutral, but it's really scary. 50-50 proposition is really scary. Now, if I can guarantee you 100% of something, right, and it was positive, you'd be all for that. If I told you there was a minimal chance of something bad happening to you, that would be good news to you. So the possibility, distinct possibility of anything popping off at any given moment is fucking scary. And it should be to the typically functionally normal person. It should be very frightening to you to know that at any given moment, you know, John Doe or Jane Doe could be someone who's going to cause peril in your life. And that's frightening. I want to put those things together because when I talk about obnoxious behavior, it's really what's going on up here that's connecting to here. So when you're thinking you don't like me and you speak out loud and openly, then you're offensive, right? You're offending me. Does it matter if you don't like me? No, it doesn't. But do you really need to voice those things? Do you really need to voice when you disapprove of someone for any reason? I've seen several examples in the social atmosphere of this type of dysfunction because see, in every environment, you don't have to have a blazing narcissist in every environment. You can just have someone who's willing to be a shit starter, flying monkey type or something. You can have one of these people and it can be just as bad in some situations. You know, you may be a little overweight or something. You're going to a reception or something. You hear someone call out, you know, why is she wearing that dress? Wouldn't that offend you? Wouldn't that hurt your feelings? Wouldn't that affect your emotional state? Now, you have a confident ego, fine. You can deal with it. You have a tough skin. Yeah, you're not going to fall out and melt because someone said something negative. However, because you're human, you will think about these things and you will self-evaluate yourself on that negative comment, and you will say, well, I am a little fat. And it would bother you. You would ultimately not let it worry you in the end, but it would bother you in that moment because you're a person. Obnoxious people look for these moments. And any chance they get, they will say the wrong things, right? At the right time. They're very concise with the bullshit that they deliver. You know? They have certain people that they don't really care for various reasons. And most of these times, the people that they really loathe are people who have not done anything to them. I've seen this situation. I've studied it. A lot of you folks do not study other people and why they do things. Right? This is what I do. While you're sitting around, you know, looking at the game or something, right? I'm doing things like this. I have some other stuff I'm working on, but you know, my point is that someone has to voice a concern, and if they don't, then something's wrong. That's what I want y'all to understand. I'm not gonna, this is a stump box talk. I'm on my stump box today. However, I'm not gonna be really ranting this time. I'm trying to get clinical with this. I want to try to let's pick apart some things. We all know that a lot of people with severe insecurities, do these things. You have something nice that they envy and they want to tear you down. They can't really say anything, on a material level or something if you have something more than them, but they can take jabs at your character or what they think about you or something like that. So let me give you an example. You hear people say things like, you may see some a group of guys or something. A guy may walk in their vicinity and that person may be cleaner than them or have possibly more money than them or something, and because of their jealous nature they will say things, but obnoxiously. You get it? See, they won't just think the things. It's okay. I don't care what you're thinking. If it's in your head, it doesn't. It's not offensive. See, but when you let it hit the open air and you have a designated target, then you are a bad person. So you group of guys out there, you get in your little groups and shit, your little bullshitters and your low lives, and you get in your little groups, your BS low life groups, and you talk about people who don't really care about you. Imagine a celebrity walking into the room and some fan saying, "Oh, I don't like him." Does he really care? Does he have time to care about what you think? Would you care if you walked into a room and someone commented about something they didn't like about you? Would you really give a damn? So I want you guys to understand that you don't have to say things unnecessarily out of your mouths. You don't have to do that. And when you want and choose to do that, you're showing us something that we need to rid ourselves of. In case you people don't understand why you're not accepted, why you low lifes are always talked about as low lifes amongst good people. Now, people like you, yeah, you'll do your bidding with them. But people on the other side, they're trying to stop this stuff. The justice empaths, the hybrid empaths, who will take you down in the mud and take your scalps as well, and clip your wings as well for the flying monkeys. We don't have time for this stuff. I sit back and out of 10 people in any given day, any given place I'm nice, and I purposely am overtly nice. I try to be as nice as possible because I'm trying to get the best results in this study of what I'm doing. The person doesn't know that I'm investigating them. They don't understand that I'm monitoring something about what they're doing. I've had friends who screw me over in business deals. You know, why was I not smart enough to catch who they were or see some aspect of their character that I didn't really care for, and that would have prevented the problem, which is what you people need to do, right? Obnoxious people are not worth anything. When they decide to speak obnoxiously and harm and hurt other people's feelings. Remember I told y'all in the beginning that really serious things happen because of someone's feelings. We can almost assure that some moment in time, any of these mass murders, any of these horrific acts that we see, you know, years ago, the World Trade, a bunch of things that have occurred. But when you trace back the person's life, when you look at the individual, you see that they were disturbed, right? And then you look at the series of actions that led up to the terrible events, and you see that they were dysfunctional. So I want you people to really think about that. Don't say things. Let's wrap this up. Don't just say things out of your mouth. Try to control yourselves, and the world will be a better place. You're not going to listen, but see the person on the other side, that hybrid empath, they may sock you out or something. Something may occur because you couldn't keep your mouth shut. Because there are consequences. Everybody is not going to be a victim for you, right? That's to the narcissists and sociopaths I'm talking to. Everyone is not going to just lay down for you, and you don't know that because you're not really smart. You don't rationalize things. You see in straight lines, and so you see a target. You don't realize who you're fucking with. It's Chuck Norris. He kicks your ass and breaks you down, and the movie goes off. I love bad behavior. But what I really don't like is when people cannot govern their mouths. It creates a lot of things, right? Saying something to that person or taunting them may make them the mass murderer or may make them something. So it's all connected. This dysfunctional behavior that we're doing, treating each other unkindly, reckless regard for people's lives, it just needs to stop. Join me. It's getting dark out here. Like and share the videos. Subscribe. Subscribe. Y'all take care.